going on YouTube? Doom bringing you a quick match, King of the Hill on Drydock. And I know it's been a bit of a while since I've uploaded, so I wanted to touch base again and get something up there. And then the next upload should be a full fives. I've been saving it for a while. It's on par pretty much with some of the other ones that I've put out. It's a quicker one, so I think it's like a 10-minute one, but this is a quick match, King, so it will be a bit longer, but this is just to get back in the swing of things. So, bit of gameplay analysis, and then I'm going to focus in on some of the other stuff that I want to get going. And feedback is always appreciated, and I'll try to listen and improve and edit what I can. So, right now I'm taking a bit of a beating. And this is because I just haven't played in X number of months on a consistent basis. Once ranked died out and a lot of people stopped playing, the incentive to continue that level of just playing just isn't there. So, but I still when I come into a game, no matter what the opposition is, even though it's quick, I still want the technique to be resemble what I'm used to doing. So you pick up your meat shields, you watch for the rifle fire, and then you try to prevent breaks when you can. You get your downs, and if they're going to revive, then you got to protect the hills as they switch around the map. A lot of times from that middle position, you're going to have these, well, they're all perimeter hills besides the middle ones, which are grenades and or above grenades and at the end, and that first cap. This one, what you want to do is to prevent breaks. You kind of have to do what I'm doing, and you got to zone them out in that middle. You got to trap them. You got to make them feel like they can't make a move until your help arrives, and then the help is going to come from grenades and well, you can have help come from torque bow. I wouldn't recommend having more than 2 people. And then, yeah, see like where he rolled from? That's where your help has to come from, but if it's late, then it won't matter. And that's what I was trying to tell these people, but none of them had mics, so it's like talking to a wall. And when you're playing Gears, you gotta have some form of communication when you're trying to play the objective. Now, this Carmine, this whole game, just being nosy, and even if I'm rusty as all heck, I'm still gonna win that 1v1 most of the time. You gotta clean up opportunities, get your breaks, try to get rid of the people getting power weapons. I think that's key. On this map, it's grenades and torque bow. Sniper really, when it's sniper round, it really doesn't do too much unless you're getting actives to the body, and then that's going to really mess people up. But otherwise, the focus I wanted to bring to the gameplay more or less is when you're down by a lot of points, and I would say a lot is anything over 20 in the beginning, then you need to start climbing back into the game, and one way to do that is just holding a long hill. You got to hold it at least 30-40 seconds to gain some momentum. And ideally, you're going to have people like these guys where they're starting to get a bit of a rhythm now, and you got to prevent your breaks. It's key because even if they take everybody out, if you kill the breaker, they have more of a delay to getting there. And I think that is one fundamental. I don't know how I got down through that, but it's got a strong hammer burst, so I could see it. Funny thing, when I was playing this match, it just felt like some of the connection had been taken away, whether it be, because you got the new gen consoles out now, and I don't know if they're going to allocate, or, well, I mean, it's probably obvious to most of the viewers, but I think they've taken away some form of that dedicated connection, even on quick, because it just doesn't play quick. You see, people get goofy kills like that where you're behind them through their body and they could turn and kill you. Weird, really weird. I don't know. It's not even a ranked versus quick thing. It's just like a weird thing. You get people out in open space though, and so that still works. The rifle is always, most of the time, I'd say almost always going to register a lot better than the shoddy play. I think for next gen, if they make a very solid Gears game that people are going to want to play on the Xbox One, what I think is going to give this game staying power is if they tweak the whole network stuff, like matchmaking, combining that with just the hit detection of the Nasher. There's some of the body blows that hit very well, but when you look through the reticle and you're noticing one thing go on, but then the people you're shooting at just are not getting hurt, you know that it's just more of a mechanical thing with the game. Right here, this is very important. What I'm about to tell you, for mechanics like purposes here, you cannot get caught with a rifle in that scenario. Like the one upload I put as the unsubscribed trailer, that one's against the II clan, and that one, what I did when I was a bit more sharp on the concepts and everything, is I would have my Nasher out in that situation, because what you want them to do is to go right into the heart of your defense with not knowing your skill level. If they think that it's only being defended by one guy, they're going to send two in just like they did, and they're not going to pause. They're just going to go. But if you're a clutch player, you handle 2v1s. I've handled enough in my past to know if I have the Nasher out, I have a chance to do it. But if you have a rifle out and you have to reload, that's the tricky part. So second round, and again, it's just mechanical inconsistency. Like I'm feeling like I can hit the walls fast, but I'm more known for the strafes, so it's more natural for me to do that. So, but evasionary stuff, I mean, you could always do that in this game. And for future gen, this, for what I want to kind of explain to everyone is, I envision a better game, but what it's going to start with is veterans like myself that are going to say, hey, this is what I see. This is how I can help the majority. And that's where I'm at now with this game. I'm not going to be on it as much, obviously, and until the new game comes out, I'm really just going to be in this type of role where it's more analytical. So, key thing is always stick to your fundamentals. And you know the fundamental type stuff, maintaining right-hand advantage, which with the Nasher, it's just the right side of the screen. You're more likely to get those kill shots than if you're having to recover to your left. That's just because of the camera angles, hit detection, you add up all the factors, your probability goes up if you focus more on your right. You take notice of where the barrel of the Nasher is as you're hip firing. These little subtleties are helping me in these sequences, and it's muscle memory. I'm just doing it from all the times that I have had to react that way in the past, in prior fights. So you wait for your help to come, but what needs to happen is the people need to move in when you do. So there's people you're going to play with that you've never seen their gamer tag before, never played a game in your life with them, the biggest thing is, I would say, let them make the first move. There's no sense in you dying because they're not ready to make a move. And see, this is another thing too, is just like your awareness of the map. Obviously, if you've got a teammate shooting mortars, well, it's on them if they freeze you with it. It's on you if you get caught by it and you like look at it coming at you. It's kind of a combination of things. You just don't want to get trapped out in the open on this map. Unless you're transitioning hills, then you need to book it. So I did start using the hammer burst more for a quick match. I just feel like there's some moments I'll come on and play where the Lancer or Retro, whatever, I don't even like using Retro. I still don't have an Onyx for it. But the Hammer Burst, to me, I feel like it's more intimidating than the Lancer in some scenarios because sometimes they don't even know where they're getting hit from. Whereas the Lancer can really slow you down. I think that's personally my favorite rifle still. I feel like you've had to adapt as a gamer to using the Hammer Burst though, because the way they made this game. They made this game so that you had to use multiple rifles in combat in order to maximize your distance, perception. You get your long range Hammer Burst, your mid range Lancer, short range Retro. I think Retro killed it. It was way overkill, but the concepts are still something you need to understand when you go into probably next gen concepts. Uh, the game's probably going to play faster, better hertz, better resolution, all that. So you're going to have to deal with players that are going to seem like they're gliding. They're just running on just super good connections, maybe. But you might have some a good one too. So you got to see it that it's going to be a fairly equal playing field. But yeah, you got to remember, keep your fundamentals. That's what I've learned from ranked versus quick, from good connections versus bad. No matter what, you still need to have an idea of character movement, evasionary tactic. See, I did like a 360 there, spun around. Sometimes you just don't get the game to go your way. A lot of times, if you know you're just outclassing the other team with your skill, Gears isn't going to give you many breaks. You have to kind of create. Like right here, I'm just creating a bit of BS because otherwise, see, it's like kind of laggy just a slight bit, and it throws your mechanics off, and that's why I don't know. I think people, they really love the game, but sometimes it's just like, oh man, if I could just get a clean connection, I would be playing this all day. I think that some people would, gravitate towards that message. So we're locking down round 2 here, and as you can recall from the last round, it's such a complete 180 difference of controlling the hills and being active, and I'm starting to warm up a little bit. You can see the timestamp there is 11:04, so it's a bit later. Not necessarily 100% just ready to go per se, but it's not like it's 3 o'clock where I'd be dead tired. So I've got a couple games left in me, and I've always played this map with either I get the ink and then I just ink the cap, or I play support and I make sure that they don't push over through the gaps. I'm going to start to do different uploads, different series on different techniques, strategies, tactics, you name it. One of them is it's called gap integrity. And just like in football, with all the Super Bowl talk, you've got different people saying different things about that. But gap integrity in Gears of War is something really people don't talk about, but I'm going to do a video on it probably, at least point it out in gameplay. What it is, or what I deem it to be, is you look around and you see all your zones, of like your alleyways for movement, like right here. You can either go straight or left. Well, you need to close off, like right here, like you need to close off an alley so that they cannot get past you to get to your teammate. And then right here, I just stand tall and I take on more of an aggressive approach. And then this is where I start to really turn it up. Now I'm starting to figure out how they play. I'm keeping with my fundamentals of just letting them come to me, make the first move, the first mistake, and I play off of that. They keep rushing in through smoke. Well, I'd say that the odds are in our favor. You got to play these odds if you're a solo player. You have to assume that your skill is going to be more often than not better than theirs. You get your revives. You just make heads up plays knowing that your teammates can benefit you and help you out. You got to watch your corners against some people, but that's to be expected. And so yeah, you have your gap integrity. Now, when you're pushing a hill, like when you're going on the offensive, and clearly I'm not in really a position to strike, but I see opportunity now. First smoke, and you break. Just get your strategy of how you want to handle the 1v, and you just react. You don't even think about it. The more you think about it, the more you give them the chance to get the upper hand. So we're taking a bit of a lead now, and I think it's important when you have the gap integrity covered, you have all your lanes checked, you need to spread them out. Spread out your opposition. Control the middle of the map, like right here. You need to spawn in the middle so you can control the middle. They're going to spawn far and away, corners of the map. They have to fight through not only you, but your 4 teammates that are looking at them. So this is where we start to pull away. Again, you always look downfield, downrange. Pick up any opportunity you can to help your team, even if they take your kills, which I think they happened like 10 times this game. Doesn't really matter, that's just quick, but that's what I started to notice. And then you zone it out. See, this is where I make the adjustment back to the Nasher. I did all the rifle play to start, and now I've got the guy that was using the retro the whole game trying to come at me with the Nasher. And clearly, that's how you create your advantages. The only way to break the hill is with a Nasher. You can't really retrocharge your way in there unless you have help. His help is late, and you can tell because they're still on the outer edges trying to make 1v1 plays. That's how you know that their help is late. Just little tips and analysis that can help turn the tides in a game for sure. Now, I know that they're just funneling in one by one, and this is where the quick versus ranked skill gap. That's what I was trying to say. In the beginning, you can't tell because everyone's going crazy for the hill. But the end game is where you can tell the skill difference between players. It's just how it is. Because it's the duration of a game that can put to test people's clutch ability, cap awareness, teamwork, and just general skill. These guys were solid, but once I figured out how they played, it was just like any other game. You just keep battling. Don't take position for granted, and continue to call out things to your teammates if they have mics. If they don't have mics, then you just gotta, Like, you know what you need to do to get a hill back. What I know I need to do is stop movement from the middle, attack people that are more stationary and have lucky stuff happen to me, and then you just seal the game. So that's pretty much it. Now, next upload is going to be a full fives, and I will put that up. I will try to put that up either tomorrow or the next day. And as always, thanks for watching and for the new subs. I appreciate that, and we'll get more content out for you guys. Doombringer out.